All right. So number 6, we start from the steps from the beginning. Is there exponent outside of a parentheses? Good. When is it positive or negative? Once it's negative, I have to move it. So it's either going to follow the format of the first one, the second one, or the third one. Taking a look at it and taking a look at each, which one is it going to follow? Well, it's a negative parentheses. Is it of a whole fraction or just the top? So just the top. Which one, first, second, or third one, has a negative on just the top? It's the third one right here, right? So if you notice in the third one, we kept everything the same, but we took that parentheses and moved it to the bottom. So that's exactly what we're going to do here. So I'm going to take this, move it to the bottom. So I'm going to have negative 2y squared still where it is. And this whole parentheses is going to move to the bottom. When there's nothing left on top, I put a what? 1. Questions? Cool. Now, the next thing I want to do is I want to apply it, right? So I'm just going to apply it separately for the sake of space, and then I'll put everything back together. So when there's no number here and there's a minus, what number is there? Good. So we're going to have negative 1 to the second power. Then we're going to have x to the fourth to the second power. Then we're going to have y to the minus 2 to the second power. And then we're going to have z to the fourth also to the second power. So as I move over, okay, I'm going to bring back everything else. And then I'm going to go ahead and put these in. So negative 1 to the second power is going to give me just positive 1. X to the fourth to the second is going to give me x to the eighth. Then over here, I'm going to have y to the minus 4. And last but not least, I'm going to have z to the eighth. Questions so far on that step? Cool. Next step says reorder. So I'm just looking here to see if I have any common numbers or letters. So if I'm reordering it, I'm going to put my negative 2 with my positive 1. I know it doesn't make much change. It's just going to give us back negative 2. Then I'm going to go ahead and put my y squared with my y to the minus 4. Good. The x will go first eventually, but since this was here first, I just used it. Okay. Then I'm going to bring the x to the eighth. Okay. I know I covered that. No more x's. So then I have z to the eighth. Z to the eighth. All right. You double check. Yeah. Question so far. Now it says to multiply. Okay. So if we multiply now, I'm just multiplying what's there on the bottom. So negative 2 times 1 is negative 2. When I multiply here, I'm going to add the exponents. 2 plus negative 4 is going to give me y to the negative 2. Then I'm going to have x to the eighth, and I'm going to have z to the eighth. Does it make sense? Cool. My next step is to do division. But do I have any division to do if it's only 1 up top? I don't. So then my last step is to make the exponents positive. So with that being said, does the 1 stay or move? Got it. Negative 2 stay or move. What about y to the minus 2? Say it again. Well, yeah, I just moved it down for here for now. No, you only got to make the exponents positive, not the coefficients. You get me? So y to the minus 2, does it stay or move? Well, negative exponents is what make it move, right? So got to go to the top and the exponent become positive. What about x to the eighth? And z to the eighth? Good. If you stop right here tomorrow, I'm going to give you 100% credit. In the future, you'll often see, especially if you move into calculus, that to standard form, they move the negative to the top. Okay. Either or will be good for tomorrow. So as long as you know the steps. I want you to be mindful of something, right? Like if you see a large problem, don't have fear. Just think of the steps. Every large problem is just 4 or 5 small problems because each step is just a small problem. And if you do each step, it's going to feel comfortable. Next one. Let's do 7. Okay. Same concept here, right? Now, do I have an exponent outside of parentheses? Is it positive or negative? Positive means we're going to apply it. When you have this whole thing here, it's going to apply to the whole thing. Is that clear? So let's just do that. What did we say about the negative yesterday? Where does it go? What does it go to? You just go straight to the top. Okay. So then now if I'm applying it, it's going to look like -2 to the third power. Then it's going to look like P to the third power. Then it's going to be like M to the fourth to the third power. Then N to the third power. I take a moment to breathe if I'm on a quiz and I'm not confident. If you're confident, obviously you're going to fly through it. But if I'm not confident, I take a step, I take a moment. Then the next thing right here, then it's going to be 2 on the bottom to the third power. Then N to the -3 in parentheses to the third power. And then P to the -3 in parentheses to the third power. Is that clear? Yeah. Then I apply. -2 to the third power is going to give me, you got it. Then P to the third is just going to be me P to the, then I'm going to get M to the 12th, and I'm going to get N to the 9. Questions? 2 to the third is going to give me 8, then N to the -9, and then P to the, questions on that? Questions? Okay, cool. So then now I move down. Do I need to reorder anything? I could. And my intention in reordering here is just so I could put the letters on top of each other that match. So I'm going to go ahead if LMNOP, N becomes before P. So I'm going to put my N first to the 9th, then my M, LMN. Well, M should have been first, but okay. 12th. No, this 9 up top is positive, right? And then I'm going to put P to the third. And then I'm just going to make the bottom match with it. So I'm going to have 8. And I got my N to the -9. I put it right under. And then my P, I'm going to put it under the other P. So the only reason I'm reordering now is just to match things up. Is that clear? Cool. Yes. What is it? It is. I already caught that mistake, but I already wrote it, so I didn't want to like delete it. But at the final answer, we'll put it in the alphabetical order. LMNOP, right? All right. So now, is there anything to multiply up top? Somebody raise their hand, give me a magic buck, and tell me how you know when there is something to multiply and how you know when there's not. Okay. What do you mean by thingy? If it's the same letter on the top or the same letter on the bottom. Okay, cool. All right. Is there the same letter here? No, it's not. So then we skip right to divide. Negative question? Meaning like, do I have another N that's up top to match with this N? Another M? No, none of them, right? So -8 over 8 is going to give me what? -1. That's correct. Then we're going to keep N and we're going to do top exponent minus bottom. Please write this step tomorrow. Quite often people will make one calculation mistake, and because they don't write this step, it's hard to give them credit, right? So just write this step. Then M to the 12 is by itself. And then I'm going to put P to the 3 minus -9. Okay? The reason you write this step is not only for your partial credit, but to keep yourself accurate, right? You don't want to make little mistakes. So -1, I throw this in the calculator so I can't miss. And that's going to give me N to the 18. M to the 12 stays the way it is. And then over here, 3 minus -9, that's going to be 3 plus 12. That's going to give me P to the 12. Questions? All right. Making things positive. Does anything move? How you know nothing moves? But I see a negative in front. Doesn't that move? You're right. The exponent of a negative number is still +1. Nothing moves. So you don't even have to do anything else. You submit this in. That's 100% correct. Okay. Do you need the 1? You don't. Right? Quite often in your answer sheet, you're going to see without the 1. But if you get there, you're correct. Go do 8. If you didn't finish 5, do 5, 8, and 9 now, and then we'll come back together. We'll check over those and then come back together for the rest. Okay? Oh, excuse me. We did 6 and 7. Yeah, do 5, 8, and 9.